What's up YouTube? This is Ace from Fit to Play Games, and today I got some good news for you, and we're also going to cover games pickup for June 2019. So go ahead and grab that coffee, have a seat, and relax. Welcome back to the channel. This is Ace from Fit to Play Games. Welcome back. And today I got a couple of news, but first I want to get this out of the way. I want to make a shout out to my friend Eddie. Welcome back, my friend, into our lives, and it was finally nice to see you again and hear from you and be able to hang out with you again. So, many more times and good times to hang out with you. And news that I have for you guys. I've been noticing that, I've kind of made the decision instead of doing game pickup of the week, because then I feel like every week I have to make a game pickup when the entire month I constantly go to different stores and also check out retro stores and also garage sales, etc., and finding new things. I just feel like I should set a date for you guys so you can see the games that I picked up for that entire month instead of. So what I've decided to do is do a games pickup of the month instead of the week. For the reason of I can show you guys more stuff, and also the volume of things that I pick up during the first week and second week of each month. It's just insane. There's just way too many things that I get, and I want to be able to share that with you in just one sitting. So I just feel like that would be more organized. That would allow me to organize the videos that I create, just so I have kind of like a time set for the videos to come out. So I decided to do games pickup of the month on the 25th of each month. So, that's something for you guys to look forward to, and I hope I can share more things with you from then on. So the third news would be games pickup for the month of June starts now. So I know some of you guys already knew that I was in E3 from June 10th to the end of E3, which was on June 13th? Yes, June 13th. And I was there checking out the venues and all the different video games that was coming out. I came on June 10th. I wish I would have just came around the 9th or the 8th, just because all the conferences have started that time, and then I was, I could have actually joined the festivities and all the conferences by all the big software developers. But unfortunately, my flight was only booked for the 10th all the way up to the 14th. But, that doesn't really hurt me as much, just because this was my first E3 event, and I was just happy to be there, man. So during that day, though, the 10th, I came there. I went straight to Little Tokyo. So this is what I got from Little Tokyo. Basically, I picked up this game system called the Family Computer, FC for short in Japan. This is the game system that I grew up with back in the Philippines, and I'm just very glad to finally find one. And this was from the Retro Game Camp in Little Tokyo in LA. So yeah, this brings back a whole lot of memories, and I'm just glad that I have one to play with once again. Now, what made me really pick up this system from Retro Game Camp was that this system is actually modded. So what I mean by modded is it's modded to be able to use a AV cable, which is your red, white, and yellow for your original CRT. I remember having the system and having to install it to our TV back in the day. And if I could remember correctly, it was the ones with the two prong, which kind of looks like a U, and it came with two. So basically, those two prongs you have to attach in the back of the TV, and you have to screw it in order to actually use this in your CRT TV. So I'm just really glad that they modded this and made my life easier to use the system in the modern day. So next up, what better way to enjoy the system that I picked up to also pick up the only game that I actually owned for this system when I was younger, which is the original Super Mario by Nintendo. And yeah, this definitely brings back a whole lot of memories. Me and my brother competed a lot using this game until we actually broke our original FC system back in the Philippines. So if you guys want to check it out, this is in Japanese, but it's a little bit easier to play with and understand versus the other games like an RPG games per se. Just because this one is a one player and a two player, and basically the FC accepts two players, so this would be easier to kind of um, use, as you can see. As you can see here, this game is really easy to use. Basically, it's got your standard Nintendo controls, A and B, your directional buttons left and right. And yeah, if you just watch this little gameplay here that we have, you'll understand that it's basically your Super Mario for your Super Nintendo or Super NES, which was released here in the US. To be honest, I'm actually having a hard time putting the game down because it's so much fun. I can't believe how much I missed it, and it brings a whole bunch of memories back. Alright, so another game that I actually picked up from Retro Game Camp is this game. Now I feel a little embarrassed because I can't remember the name of this game, so if any of you guys that's watching this video right now know what this game is, it's by Hudson Soft, and it's a platforming game. You basically run around throwing shuriken stars and collecting fruits and things, and you can actually jump on top of trees in the game, which is pretty fun in my opinion, and it's a fun platforming game to play. But I just forgotten the name of the game, so if you guys can put that and jot that down in the comments below for you guys who knows what this game is, let me know. And here we are playing a little bit of clip for this game. As you can see, it's a fun platformer. As you guys can, if you noticed, you could actually climb up to those branches and try to grab one of those red fruits. I don't quite understand what those red fruits does, but as you can see, I'm actually pretty bad and getting my butt kicked by these jumping little ninjas. And as we come to the end here of this area, there's the daimyo actually dropping what looks to me like a bunch of cash and also some dumbbells, and I believe the dumbbells can actually hurt your character in the game. This is actually a pretty fun platforming game, and I would definitely recommend this to you guys if you ever come to Retro Game Camp. So next up here on the list, I picked up, I'm just kidding, that's actually Dragon Buster. If you guys recognize the game, regarding this game, as it was explained to me by Jacob, who actually works over at Retro Game Camp, and he is very knowledgeable of most of the Japanese games that was released during that time in the 80s. And this was actually, he was making fun of it in the beginning, and then he actually tried out the game before selling it to me, and he was actually very impressed with the game. He told me that, oh, Dragon Buster is actually a pretty fun game. And to his knowledge, this was the Dark Soul, the equivalent of Dark Soul during the 1980s. So therefore, I picked it up as well. So Dragon Buster, as you can see in the map, you can only travel to those areas. This is not an open world, but it's still a very fun game to play. Each of those areas present dungeon scenarios such as you guys are looking at now. There's gonna be enemies that you can hack and slash with, and according to Jacob, who actually helped me pick out understand this game a little bit more, this was the equivalent of Dark Souls of the 1980s basically. This was actually a very fun game. He didn't realize how fun it was until we actually load this up before purchasing this game. So if you guys come across this game, I highly recommend you guys pick this up. This is actually very fun to play as well. Alright guys, so we're getting into the nitty gritty details, and I actually bought the Dragon Quest II, and I also bought the Dragon Quest 3 and Dragon Quest 4 for the FC. Now, they were reasonably priced. I think they were only $2.99 over there when the E3 weekend was happening, so that's therefore I picked them up. And here's a little bit of gameplay. Excuse the Japanese misunderstanding just because most of these games that I bought are in Japanese. As we watch this together, I just can't help but notice that this game actually has a huge similarity with the Pokemon series, the way you travel the world in an open world style. And if you guys remember Pokemon Red and Blue, this is basically how you travel between dungeons. And if you look at the stairs, that's the stairway going to different areas and dungeons in Pokemon. And I just wanted to point that out. I just feel like there's a huge similarity with that game and this game. But at the same time, the story is completely different. And also, in regards to story, I believe that Dragon Quest 1 and 2 and 3 and all the Dragon Quest tried to have some kind of connection between the first, the second, and the third, fourth, and so on. I believe the developers wanted it to be that way just so all the us gamers will have some kind of connection to the new protagonist that they are presenting towards the new game that they created. So I think definitely this is a good game to pick up if you guys get a chance to go get it. A few more games for the FC while staying in LA during the E3 week. So without any more delay, I wanted to show you guys that I actually picked up the Dragon Ball series for the FC system. And I'm not going to try and show you as much of the game. I'm just going to show you a little bit of gameplay in regards to the difference between the first Dragon Ball that came out and the following Dragon Ball 2, 3, 4, and this third one. So if you guys check out the video right here, you'll understand what the differences are, and I'll explain. You observe the gameplay that we have here. If you take a look closely, there is a Zelda-esque style of gameplay involved in the original Dragon Ball game. And I believe this was a very good way to explore and be able to understand the characters that are involved, especially Goku in his early years. And as you can see, you can pick up weapons, some items that you could actually use in game, and that this actually is a very fun beat up style kind of game. Like I said, it reminds me a whole lot of Zelda. But as we jump over to the Dragon Ball 2, it's been changed, and the developers definitely went in the RPG route where it looks more like a Monopoly game where you could actually interact with the characters and little scenarios and cutscenes that is presented to you in game. Now this isn't entirely bad, but I believe the beat 'em up style was a little bit better in my opinion, and I still think though this was a step in the right direction just because all of the Dragon Ball Z nowadays are kind of just like this. And therefore, this is a good game to pick up, and if you get the chance to, I would also pick that up and I highly recommend it. So I picked up a couple more games, and starting off with the Dragon Quest V for the Super Famicom, which is the equivalent of the Super Nintendo here in the US. And yeah, that's actually another good pickup in my opinion. Here's a little bit of gameplay if any of you guys have actually not played this game or actually missed out on this game. It's basically a better version of the games that I have shown you so far for the FC. Basically, these are the upgrades. So as you can see, there's a huge amount of changes now in the game. You are able to see your companions with you as you travel around the world and seeking adventure in Dragon Quest V. And what's cool about it is if the grid is a little bit more smoother versus when I was trying to play in the original FC, which is the Famicom. There's a huge amount of difference. Enormous difference was the graphics and the quality of the picture of the enemies, and the map is so much more smoother than your old Dragon Quest. Um, Aside from it being smoother, I will not disregard and nor talk bad about the other Dragon Quest, just because without them, without those games, this game would have never improved dramatically without something to kind of look at before creating a new game. And therefore, I thank the developers for creating Dragon Quest. This was definitely um, an awesome game that was released, and I feel like we're missing out so much when this game came out for the first time because they never released it for the US. Alright, so up next for the list, we have Dragon Quest 6, which is the follow up for the Dragon Quest 5 that came out for the Super Famicom. Now, the reason I bought this, even though I actually have them in the original Super Nintendo, is because I'm trying to have a balance between my systems, to have a certain type of games that I have for the Super Nintendo, and as a collector I actually want to have them for the Super Famicom, which is a good thing to do, just so you have a nice balance as a collector. And also, here's another cool gameplay that, well, not really a gameplay so much, but just a little introduction in regards to Dragon Quest 6, because as we all know, we are actually missing out when this game came out came out in Japan, and we never got it, or never had it released here in the US. As you guys can see, this is just a preview of the game. Basically, this is the beginning of your adventure as you wake up in the middle of a campfire with the protagonist and his companions. So basically, this is just a little intro. Unfortunately, I don't have any gameplays yet for you guys to see, but eventually in the future I will have. But nonetheless, this is a definite good game to pick up and to share with you guys. And if you come across it, I would definitely recommend you guys pick it up, just because it's highly collectible as well. Alright guys, there's another item that I actually purchased from the Retro Game Camp, which is this little system right here, which is a Nintendo 64. Yeah, you guessed it right. I have a Nintendo 64, but I actually wanted to pick this one in particular. If you look at it closely, it's nothing too special, but I'll explain in a little bit why. Reason behind me purchasing this item is in fact its ability to play Japanese and English games for the Nintendo 64. This is definitely a good system to pick up when you guys come across it. I definitely recommend it. So next up on the list is an item that I picked up while walking around E3 during the E3 week. And I was walking around with my crew, and we were trying to check out the different accessories that actually pops out first, and we wanted to bring one of those back home so we can review it. And what I came across with is called the MKler. Now, this is a HDMI, but it's a little bit more than that. It actually upscales your 4K that you already have to a better view, and basically it cleans out all the darkness, and it gives you a better view of what you're watching or whatever you're playing. So I got the Cinema Edition because I do play a lot of my games via my system. So, and I use a lot of my television, which is a 4K Ultra TV, and I want to make use of that. And it also upscales older games such as, you know, the Super Mario games and etc, etc. And yeah, and I'm actually gonna show you a little bit of the difference in what a regular HDMI, which is not powered, versus the M cable. So if you guys take a look at this video, this was taken during E3, and I was just watching behind saw that M cable is one powerful item to have. So, side by side, you can see the difference. The one without using, just basically using a regular HDMI versus the one that's actually using the M cable for your gaming experience. Definitely something good that you guys could pick up to enhance your gaming experience and make your games a little bit more enjoyable to look and watch. Alright guys, so now I've finally shown you everything that I picked up from when I was in LA for the E3 week. I'm going to show you the things that I actually recently, I shouldn't say recently, but more of the things that I picked up here now that I'm home. So without further ado, I'm just going to go through the things that I picked up in different stores, garage sales, etc. So this one I actually picked up from GameStop. They were selling this for $4.99. I picked up Gears of War 4 for the Xbox One. This was $4.99. And then you all know what Gears of War is. I mean, this was definitely an awesome game that came out for the Xbox 360 when it first came out. It was just so innovative, something that, we all needed during that time, and now it's only getting better. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. The reason I bought this is because I wanted a physical copy. I own this via just the digital downloads. So now that I have my own copy, now I don't have to worry about, having to worry about not having my own physical copy. Now I could always just backtrack to this whenever I need it. Alright, so couple of things here. Now this couple of games I picked up from Savers, which is our I don't know if there's Savers where you live in, but here there are Goodwill, Savers, and I believe the Salvation Army. They also have their own thrift store. So this one I picked up from Savers. They have their own areas where they kind of put all of the more valuable things, so that's where I kind of hover most of the time and taking a look and just kind of searching through what I see that is more valuable and probably something that I probably do not have yet. So that's where I hang out. So without further ado, I will show you guys what I got. Now, most of these games I've not played yet just because I wanted to show you guys what I picked up. So eventually I'll be able to show you guys gameplay on most of these games. So, if you guys just kind of, hang on there and, eventually we're going to get through that. So without further ado, this is the Savers. I actually bought the Pokemon Red, Ruby Red. And it says here this one has dry batteries, and it was for $14.99. But at the time that I went here, it was just so perfect because they had 50% off on everything. So instead of buying and paying $14.99, I only paid $7 for this Pokemon Ruby for the Nintendo SP and original DS's. So yeah, definitely a good game that I picked up from Savers. And also from Savers, I picked up this box copy of 007. And it's in the box is in pretty good condition, and the manual is inside. And this is the game that's actually blue in color. And I have a little clip to show you guys of what the gameplay is in the actual Nintendo 64 that's region free that I picked up. So if you guys mind taking a look at it right here we go. So I know the graphics looks horrible. The M cable that I have installed is definitely trying its best in order to upscale the video and the graphics of this game, but not everything can be upscaled, unfortunately. So this kind of just reminds me a little bit about how far the gaming industry has gone to give us better graphics, better storylines, and better production when it comes to games. And we've come so far, and we're only getting better. And yeah, if you guys take a look at it, this is the James Bond 007. The world is not enough for the Nintendo 64. This is what it looks like when we had the N64 hundreds of years back, I should say. Alright guys, so next up on the list from Savers, I actually picked this up, Just Cause 3. I remember playing the first one for the original Xbox 360. It was such a phenomenal game. I can't believe how it's not as popular as it's supposed to be. And this was created between Avalanche Studios and Square Enix. So, you know, you already know you're getting top dollar for a definitely good game that we should pick up. And yeah, this was, well, if you take a look at it, it was $24.99. I only paid $12 for it because of the 50% off. And yeah, they're gonna have more sales in the upcoming couple of days, especially 4th of July is something that I'm looking forward to, and seeing what they have for those next coming days. All right. And next in line here we have, we have a couple more games here. These ones are actually picked up from a local retro gaming store here, which is called Disc Replay, and it's all over the place right now here where I live. And I'm gonna show you what I got from them. So I got a better copy. Yes, I know I actually already have a copy of Arc the Lad Twilight of the Spirits. The reason I picked this up is because it came with a manual and it's so clean, and the CD, this basically is a brand new game. I did not see any scuffings, nor they did not have to clean it. Basically, this game just came out like this, and they didn't play it as much. I guess the previous owner probably isn't a fan of the way the strategy game is created for the Arc the Lad, but I actually love it. Next, I've been looking for this game for a while now, and now I'm just really glad that I found one for the Xbox One, which is the Homefront. I played the original for the original Xbox 360. Man, this was such a good, not this one personally, but the original Homefront was such a good game. And the storyline, I really love how, you know, the US is basically trying to take back its own former glory from our invaders. And yeah, I can't wait to play this game and show you guys how the story goes for Homefront: The Revolution. Alright, next we have, I've got the Hitman contracts. I've noticed that I've shown you guys some Hitman games on my previous videos. It's just that I don't think I have Hitman contracts for my original Xbox. So therefore I picked this up just for my collection, and to make sure that I have this physical copy in my collection as well. Next is Dungeons and Dragons and Heroes. I have friends that comes over most of the time, and you know, instead of just playing too much of your regular FPS, first person shooter games, Call of Duty, I wanted to kind of get them involved in games such as teamwork games. I mean, we all played RPGs before that we were all kind of playing together, but nothing beats Dungeons and Dragon Heroes for, you know, those dungeon crawling games, especially with your friends. Next up here, I have Infamous 2. Cole McGrath was the hero. Well, he's kind of like, this is kind of like a Fable game, so you can either be an evil person or a good person. So in my previous gameplay from the Infamous, the original, Cole McGrath was actually on the good side, so I turned him into a good guy. I've never actually dabbled making him a bad guy, but maybe when I start playing this game, I'm probably gonna turn him into a bad guy, and see how the world unfolds with him being a bad person. Next, I have finally found a Time Crisis 4. I've been looking for Time Crisis 4 for the PlayStation 3 for a while now. Since I've got the first one, second one, and the third one for the PS2, I finally found a Time Crisis 4. And I also have a Time Crisis 3 for the PS2, which is I'm getting close to completing all the Time Crisis for my collection as well. And maybe I'll get lucky and I'll be able to find a GunCon for the PlayStation 3 as well. That would be something exciting, and I can show you guys gameplay too as well. Next here, I know I've shown you guys a ton of Grand Theft Auto and Hitman trilogies throughout most of my videos, but I couldn't resist this. I got the Grand Theft Auto the trilogy, which is, you know, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, and also the San Andreas. Now this is a complete package. It comes with 3, and I know I have copies of each and every single one of these, but becoming a trilogy, it's something that I really want to add in my collection. So yeah, this was $11.99 in the disc replay area over by, I believe this was from the Naperville area over where, well, I don't live in that area, but it's close there to my work. So this is where I got that from. Next, I know, you guys are probably sick about the Hitman and the Hitman stuff. So I'm just gonna cut this short. This is going to be my collection for my PlayStation 2 system, the Hitman trilogy. So finally got this one. I've been eyeing this for a while now. I just kept changing my mind whether I'm gonna get it or not, but it was $9.99, very reasonable. I believe when this came out, this was at $50, and nothing beats paying less than $50. So finally have my own collection for the PS2. That makes me definitely happy. All right. What else do I have for you guys? Oh, I almost forgot. This one, I don't know about how good you are with your superheroes, but I am definitely a big fan of Nightwing. Now I got this from GameStop as well. This is his statue. If you take a look at it, let's open it up a little bit here. So there's Nightwing, and he looks extremely awesome. And the backstory, though, the reason I like Nightwing, because I've been looking around for superheroes that are Asian descent, and there's really not a whole lot. Versus I saw Nightwing, which was, he was either partially of a Chinese culture, and then he grew up here in the US, and his backstory is basically he was Robin once. And as he's grown up, he wanted to stay away from Batman's shadow, so he turned over his Robin costume to somebody else who would fulfill that duty as Robin, and he basically turned and picked the identity as Nightwing, and that's his backstory. Definitely, this one was on clearance actually. I remember this. GameStop selling this for like $119, and I got it for how much is it? $39. So I mean, it's still a pretty good deal in my opinion. Beats paying $119. So what else do I have for you guys? Now from the retro store, I actually bought this Azure Dreams. I never got to play this game when it came out for the original PlayStation, but it looks very interesting, and it's another RPG, and you know how I love RPGs, good storylines. Those are the perfect ones for me, especially if I want to grind out my time and, you know, understand the whole game process. And yeah, this was probably one of the more expensive games that I played. This was exactly $60 because, number one, when I bought this from the disc replay store, they said that the owner never actually played the game. I mean, if you guys see how clean that is, I mean, you would believe that too. And plus, I never got to play the game, and this one has the manual too. So, you know, it's either wait for another one for a really, really crappy one, or get this one, which is something that you can hold on to and cherish to be part of your collection. So I did and bought it, and I'm really glad that I did, and I can't wait to play it. Now for the um, last thing for the game pickups of June 2019. This one I actually bought from eBay, and I want to send a shout out to Sogenki, who is actually the seller of this item. I've been trying to get one for a while now, and you know, just because of budgeting and also trying to think of a lesser thing to get. I finally jumped the gun and I offered, and Sogenki, that's spelled Sogenki. He is the seller that I bought this from. He was really, really nice to give me a nice discount on this thing. And without further ado, I will show you the item that I bought from him. Now, if you guys don't mind checking out his store on eBay, he's got some really nice stuff in there. Definitely something that you guys should check out, and you know, send him a shout or maybe a message to see if you can get something that is of a reasonable deal. But without further ado, I actually bought a brand new Tales of Destiny, which is still covered. It has its sticker on it. It still says the pool on it, and you know, in order to open this thing. Now, this is just something that I will just add into my collection. I will not play it. I know you guys are probably wondering, why won't you play it? I mean, there's a reason why you bought it, right? Well, the reason is I actually have an original copy which do not have the cover. I do not have the cover for the ones that I actually play with. So this one is just going to be kind of like a reminder that I actually have an original copy that is sealed and untouched and unblemished by time. I actually have 3 copies over there where my PlayStation stuff is at, of the original Tales of Destiny 2. So again, I want to thank Sogenki for giving me a good deal on this, and I will not let you guys I won't tell you guys the price on this thing, but I could definitely say he could have easily just charged me more for it, but he didn't. He was actually very nice to give me a good discount, and a very good discounted price. So again, Sogenki, check out that name under eBay, Sogenki. Anyway, that kind of that was definitely a good buy for me, and very thankful for the things that I have here. And I just want to say thank you for watching my videos. I know this is probably one of those long videos that you guys had to sit through, but I really appreciate you guys watching this. And if you have any questions or anything that you want me to cover, you can go ahead and put that down in the comments below, and I will respond to you as fast as I could, as fast as I can, sorry. And other than that, I would like to close this month's game pickup of June 2019. I will see you again on the 25th for the July 2019 games pickup. Other than that, I might have a couple more I am gonna have a couple more videos in regards to games that I still think that are valuable and that we should all still be able to play. And without further ado, this is Ace again signing off. I will see you on the next video.